everyone, my name is Olivia and I run a little blog called Millennial Girl Interrupted, the link to which you can find in the description down below, unless you're on the website, in which case, hi! Today I want to talk about something that's been a major source of shame throughout my life. I suffer from a condition called Dermatillomania. It's also known as Excoriation Disorder and Skin Picking Disorder. It's commonly associated with OCD, and its major diagnostic criteria include: 1. You must be pulling, picking, or scratching at your skin. A lot. 2. You must have tried to stop and been unable to. 3. You must be clinically distressed or impaired by the behavior. And 4. The picking can't be explained by any other condition, whether psychological or dermatological. When I try to explain to people what I've experienced for the last probably 9 years of my life, I'm met with a few different reactions. The most common reaction that I get is people trying to relate by explaining their stories of picking at their lips or their nails or biting at their nails or scratching at their acne or something similar. These are all undeniably difficult to live with, but they're not the same as excoriation disorder. I'm going to run through some pictures now of the last few years of my disorder. All the other pictures that I have from middle school until probably freshman, sophomore year are on my old computer, so I can't access them, but this is pretty representative of what my experience with excoriation disorder has been like. It all started when I started pulling my hair out, a condition called trichotillomania that I've covered before. It's closely related to dermatillomania, and I transferred over to dermatillomania once I stopped pulling my hair out. My most popular places have been my upper arms, my forearms, my chest, the outer side of my breasts, my shoulders, my back, and my knees. I would form perfect circles, creating just the right pick and just the right scratch, just the right pull or pluck or dig or whatever it is. It's hard to describe. For years, at around 11 o'clock at night, I could always be found on my bathroom floor, picking away, bleeding, crying, and I'd be there for 4 or 5 hours. The lights would be bright and my shower would be running the whole time. I've had to be extremely aware of my spots for years when in public. I went through a phase where I'd only wear long-sleeved swim shirts to pools and beaches. I then decided that a better way to deal with it was to burn my skin with the sun. It actually kind of works, but at this point I'm pretty much guaranteed to have skin cancer later in life, so it's not really advisable. I went through a phase a couple of years ago where I did a lot of spray tanning. Every 2 or 3 weeks I'd go and get my skin evened out one color, and the theory behind that was that if I couldn't see the discoloration, I wouldn't be tempted to pick at it. My parents spent hundreds of dollars and it didn't work. We've gone to over half a dozen dermatologists who are at a loss as to how to treat me because I don't really have that spotty of skin naturally. I'm acne prone but not extreme at all, and most of it's psychological, so they obviously couldn't prescribe anything besides a few meek creams and stop picking. It was all psychiatric, but if you looked at me, you'd assume I was a poor, oily, unhygienic teenager. For years I've been using the app Facetune to conceal my spots. Before James Charles and Kendall Jenner popularized it, I was frantically healing or blurring dozens of spots in every picture. I do it before posting anything. Everything ran through Facetune. I'd always insist that my phone was the one to be used for group pictures so that I could have all the editing control. Here I tried doing a photo shoot where my mom painted little white hearts over my picking spots. I was trying to show that I wasn't ashamed. And yet I kept on Facetuning. The reality of my picking was more drastic than the pictures showed. Dermatillomania is an anxiety and OCD disorder. It's not about whether or not I want to stop picking. I desperately want to stop picking. I want my skin to be clear, and I always have. But if I don't pick, my fingers prickle and buzz, and my anxiety builds to be so great that I have to release it. For years I've used it as a tool to release my anxiety, trauma, and compulsions. It's so ingrained in me that it's almost impossible to stop. Skin picking disorder is way more complicated than eroded nails or chapped lips. It's destructive, embarrassing, and inhibiting in every social setting. So it's really important to consider that there are a lot of weird, disturbing, unusual disorders that people around you are experiencing and will experience. Simply practicing the act of not judging someone for something you don't understand is a good practice towards being an ally for mental health. You never know what someone's backstory is. I shower every day. I apply all the right creams, lotions, deodorants. I've tried baking and tanning myself. I've tried taping my fingers. I've tried wearing gloves. I've tried covering mirrors with lipstick and paint and tapestries. It's not about lack of hygiene, lack of willingness, or lack of discipline. It's a mental illness. That's it for the video, and I hope this was informative, and I encourage you to check out the link to the blog in the description down below. Bye!